Hey, absolutely insane, what's up? It's the Culture Detective here investigating your favorite albums, and today I'm going to be doing my second review of the day, and that would be the new Lankum album, False Lankum. So this album has been on my radar for quite some time because I saw this on my regular music charts and it got my attention because this album is an Irish folk album. This album is Irish folk and also with a little bit of ambient music and drone, which is really freaking cool. I don't think I've ever reviewed an album like this before. So right off the bat, it got my attention, and it isn't until recently I have the time to listen to it. And boy, I like it. So yeah, this album is long, but it's totally worth it. The album opener, Go Dig My Grave, is a sorrowful funeral song with gorgeous vocals. I feel like I'm attending a funeral in the medieval times in the countryside of Dublin, Ireland. And with the very sorrowful, solemn strings and vocals, it slowly builds up to unsettling drony strings and plucky instrumentals, and it's unsettling and in a very gorgeous theatrical way. And lyrically it deals with a broken, troubled love. A man goes to find his lover just to see that his lover has committed suicide, and with a note saying, "Go dig my grave." And it's just good storytelling and good instrumental. After that, we have Clear Away in the Morning, which is a drony yet soothing and calming track with soft vocal harmonies and gently swaying guitars. It's a good time, though I would have to say that it stayed a little bit more than it's welcomed. It's 7 minutes long. It's a little long, just a touch bit long, but otherwise it's still a pretty good track. We have Fugue 1, which is a densely noisy interlude transitioning to Master Crowley's, which is a awesome track that's mostly instrumentals. We have bouncy accordions and with the fiery chord changes. I feel like I'm dancing around a bonfire in the middle of old Dublin in the 15th century or something. It really transports me to that world, and I really freaking love it. And I like that at the end it breaks down into something really chaotic and noisy. The track Newcastle is a beautiful ballad with downtrodden guitars and moving vocal harmonies, which I also really like. And following another pretty good interlude, we have Netta Perseus with its sweet, sugary, plucky strings that sort of swells and builds up to something really cinematic, intense, with a faint pummeling percussion. And lyrically, it is about a woman who's really sweet, who really adores you, who's endearing, but then the main character of this track dares not to look at her eyes. Like, there's something scary about her. There's just something too kind hearted about her. And again, not only musically is it great, but lyrically, it also, like, I'm not super well versed in the world of Irish folk tales, folklore, and storytelling, but it just reminds me of one of those medieval Irish and English, or maybe even medieval French folk stories about a fair maiden who is like demented or something. Like a witch, perhaps, far stretch, but it totally gives me that atmosphere, that mood, which makes the track ever so intriguing. And then following that, we have the New York Trader, a 7 minute and 40-second long track where a man recounts his long and weary journey all the way from Ireland to New York. And it sort of builds up to fiery, intense banging drums, which is really moving and so full of motion. And again, I just love the rustic quality of the lyrics so much, especially on the second verse. On the 4th of March, we did set sail on a sweet and pleasant gale. With hearts undaunted, we set for sea, bound for New York in America. And I just really like that it's not America, it's America. Like there's a rustic. I don't even know why it's called America. It just feels right. And then we have Lord Abor and Mary Flynn, which is another gorgeous, soothing ballad with a medieval twist. In a lot of ways, this track reminds me of like old Fleet Foxes, like early Fleet Foxes music, which I absolutely love. And this is actually an 8.5 minute long ballad about an extremely tragic tale of two young children. And I'm not going to spoil what happens, but the lyrics are Shakespearean, to say the least. Following that, we have Fugue 3, which is a 2 minute interlude with apprehensive metallic tones and woodwinds. And then afterwards, a On a Monday Morning is a spacey, dejected ballad with sweet guitars and a lot of silence. It sounds really good. I wouldn't say it's one of the more memorable tracks on the album, but it definitely builds up to the final track really well. The final track is called The Turn, which is a 13-minute long closer with a very theatrical ending with running guitars and heartfelt vocals. Lyrically, I speculate the main characters see their own village burn down, and now the villagers have to turn away and find new hope. So, in a way, this track is downtrodden and sad. In a way, it's also hopeful as well. But then, slowly but surely, the track gradually fades into a noisy void of nothing, and it just constantly swells and swells and swells until these noise just completely consume the light guitars. And it's a very interesting album ending, and it definitely shows an unsettling, disturbing side of the aesthetic, I would have to say, which is very interesting. So, yeah, overall, I think this is definitely one of the most solid albums of the year so far. It's really intriguing. I never expected myself to enjoy Irish folk music so much, and it's just equal parts light and sweet and soothing, equal parts drony and unsettling and bold and apprehensive. And artistically, there's a lot to chew on. Lyrically, there's a lot to think about. And it's just one of the highlights of the year. I definitely recommend everyone to check this album out. And I am feeling a strong 8 out of 10. So, have you listened to the new Lankum album, False Lankum? Comments below, let me know. Like if you like it, and subscribe if you want more. And thanks for watching.